There's something about a railway town that stays the same long after the trains have stopped mattering. Edgerton arrived that way because the rails said so, and it's still here nearly 120 years later, even though that particular reason stopped being the whole story decades ago. But what actually held it together? What made people stay? Hello and welcome to the video. If this is your first time here, my name is Mike. If you've been here before, my name is still Mike, but you would have known that already. In 1908, the railway reached here. By 1909, the town site was surveyed north of the tracks and buildings went up almost overnight. A one-room schoolhouse opened in 1910 and then the train station, and by 1917, Edgerton was officially incorporated. But what really stayed was the community. You see it in St. Mary's Anglican Church. The Church of England had been meeting in homes and halls since 1909. By 1927, they needed something more permanent. Volunteers built the church in 36 days on a $1,000 budget. The Methodist Church, which became the United Church, built their first structure in 1911, and the Roman Catholic Church came later in 1927, though it didn't last long. But that's the pattern, people building what they needed to stay. During the Depression, the council got creative. Money was tight, meetings got sparse, but they took an unusual step. The village used funds to help citizens with medical bills. People paid those loans back slowly or worked them off through public service. That's not how the textbooks say to run a town, but that's how Edgerton got through. So what held it all together? Not the railway anymore. By the time things got real difficult, that novelty had worn off. What held Edgerton together was the same thing that built St. Mary's Church in 36 days on almost no money. People deciding that they had a stake in the place and in each other. The town wasn't remarkable because of what it brought into being. It was remarkable because people chose to stay, and they built the infrastructure, the churches, the school, the civic structures that made staying possible. Today, Edgerton sits on the land much as it did 100 years ago, just outside of Wainwright, with a population of around 400 people. School's still there, still teaching kids from kindergarten through grade 12. The churches are still active, and the streets still follow the grid that was laid down in 1909. If you walk around, you can see what was built with intention, not with grand ambition, but with the quiet belief that this place mattered, and it would last. So if you've enjoyed this little journey, give that like button a tap. It's free and oddly satisfying. If you haven't subscribed yet, just know I share a new small town story every week, weather permitting, of course. Feel free to pass this along to your aunt, your neighbor, or that one friend who still thinks Alberta ends at Calgary. They need this more than they know. And if you'd like to chip in and help keep the drone batteries charged and the gas tank filled, there's a Ko-fi link in the description. And you can find Gradient Imaging on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok because apparently I'm not busy enough. But until next week, drive safe, wave at strangers, and take the scenic route.